Hello, everyone, and welcome to my B2 to C1 pre-advanced English course. In this module, you will learn about generic pronouns, which are common gender pronouns. That's what these are. At the end, you will get to practice what you just learned with a few sample exercises. Let's get started. All right, so we'll look at this chart briefly here about generic pronouns. All right, so first I'll mention these talk about people in general. For example, we can use you, we, or one. You can say, you never know what the future holds. Or you can use we with that, or one. Same sentence here. So this is more formal and not often used except in the possessive form. Um, for example, you can say poverty eats up one's dignity. So this is possessive form here. Okay, we have to be consistent though, using the same pronoun. Uh, for example, um, we never know what the future will bring us. See that? Us relates to we. Or corresponds. And then in this one where it says, you never know what the future will bring us, so that's wrong. They have to correspond, and it would have to be we with us, not you with us. Um, so, anyways, um, groups of people is the next thing. So, for example, when you're talking about this in general, they are going to raise the taxes. Okay, they mean the government when they say they. Or there's this one, they don't like strangers in this village. Okay, so that means the villagers, that's what they are here. Okay, and then one person, like a male or female, uh, for example, every student said their name out loud. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to say his or hers, just in general. And then in this one, everyone accepted, didn't they? Even though everyone is singular or every person, we're just saying they for as a general uh, question or statement. Okay, so yeah, where it says every student, that could mean he or she, right? But altogether, it would mean they, and so that's why we use there. Um, so it's actually informal but very common, even in written language. All right, let's go on. We'll look at some more examples. Okay, so generic pronouns, one, you, and we. So here is the meaning. So we can use one, you, or we to talk about people in general, including the speaker and hearer, and not one person in particular. So, for example, one can never know what to expect from politicians. Or also, you can say you or we can never know. And then this example, in these situations, you must never lose your temper. Or you can say one must never lose their temper. And then this one, we are human and will always make mistakes. And this is talking about people in general, speaking from a first person plural point of view. All right, register. Okay, the word one here is more formal than we or you and is rarely used in spoken English. However, the possessive determiner ones here is a little more common. Okay, using one and ones here. All right, here are a couple examples. Education always changes one's life for the better. Or we can also say changes your or our life. So either one of these, just the pronouns have to agree together. And then we have poverty eats up one's dignity. Okay, now let's talk about subject, object, etc. Okay, one, you, and we can be used as a subject or object, and they're often used in their reflexive form. For example, oneself, yourself, and ourselves. Okay, so for example, sometimes the government treats you or us as if you or we were a child. So you can use either one. They just have to agree. You would correspond to you and us and we. Okay, and then this one, there is the tendency just to lie down and that life treat one as it deems fit. Okay, then there's success and failure always teach you or us something about yourself or ourselves. See how you can use either one? Okay, and then helping others helps oneself. So that's talking about anyone in general. All right. Okay, consistency. We can normally choose one pronoun or the other for generic reference, but what is important is that we keep consistency throughout the text. So, for example, uh, these are both correct, but the bottom isn't. So, you never know what the future will bring you. So can't use any other pronoun, you and you. Or we never know what the future will bring us. So those two agree together. And then this one is wrong because we changed this to us. You never know what the future will bring us. Yeah, you would have to use we here to make it agree. All right, then we're going to talk about they, referring to a group of people in general. So in English, we often use they to refer to people in general or a more specific group of people that does not include the speaker or hearer, such as people in a country, city, or any place, or authorities, police, etc. Okay, we'll continue here with a couple examples. They don't like strangers in this village. Okay, and we're talking about villagers, people there. And then in this one, they are going to raise our taxes this year. And what they mean by they, of course, is the government. And then they are going to open a new pub opposite my house. Okay, so they're referring to uh, whoever is going to build a new pub. So, all right, let's talk about singular reference. It's equal to he or she. So in informal English, we use they, them, or their to refer to one generic person who could be female or male. Many grammar experts consider this use incorrect, but it is very common, even in written language. So, for example, a good journalist should never reveal where they get their information. So, using they there in general to talk about any journalist. Okay, and then before the class, every student said their name aloud. Okay, so not his or her here, talking about all students in general. All right. Okay, the use of they, them, and their for generic singular reference is often preceded by an indefinite singular pronoun. So here's an example. Someone has left their suitcase in the taxi. All right, so there here refers again to someone, not, I mean, male or female, but we're just referring to them with this generic singular reference. And then this example, everyone accepted the invitation, didn't they? All right, so referring here to all the people, not just one individual person. And then nobody wanted to give us their phone number. Wow, I don't blame them. All right, well, we're going to move on now to do a few sample exercises and see what we know so far. It'll test our learning here. Okay, exercise 1. So from the drop-down menu, we'll choose the best option here. So we've got like beer a lot in England. So look at these pronouns, you, one, or they. Okay, so talking about people in general there. So if you chose they, the bottom one, that is correct. All right. And then reading can help to expand. So whose imagination? All right, their, one, or your. So we're not talking about anyone here. There's no subject here. So we're going to do, we can't say one because it's not possessive. So if you chose the bottom one, your, that would be correct. Okay, number 3. So we've got they, we, or you can never be sure whether our perceptions are correct. Okay, what refers to our? Which one? Well, we know we'd, of course, use a plural form. So if you chose the second one, we, that would be correct. All right, number 4. It is very difficult to put himself, oneself, or myself in somebody else's shoes. Okay, so we don't want to talk about a person in general. So the correct one to choose would be which one? The middle one, you think? Oneself? That would be correct. All right. So let's do number 5 here. Every person should be held responsible for, okay, so we've got their, his, or our own actions. Okay, so people in general here, no particular subject. So if you chose the top one, there, that would be the correct one. Okay, let's look at exercise 2 real quick. So it's multiple choice here. So there are 2 correct options. So we have never know who enemies are. Okay, so they, their, you, your, we, our, and then one, ones. So, all right, so we know for sure if we say we and our, the third choice, that would be one. What would be the other one? So, all right. So we don't want to say one because we would have to use knows. So the other correct choice would be what? You and your, right? You and your. Okay, you never know who your enemies are. All right. Okay, number 2, improving whose relationship with others should be a priority in life. Okay, there are 2 correct answers here. What is one? Okay, all right, so if you chose the top one, or option A, our, that would be one, and the other would be, okay, how about option D? If you chose that, ones, that would also be correct. All right, number 3. Okay, so they, we, one, or I say that 5 a day keeps the doctor away. Okay, talking about all people in general. Okay, so if you chose option A, they, that would be correct. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, someone left their, its, one's, or your wallet on one of the tables. Okay, so, all right, so if you chose option A, there, that would be correct. So we can, we can use these for a singular reference. Um, all right, let's look at the third exercise real quick. So we're going to choose from these here in the box, right? And determine which is the best here. All right, so for example, we can't make ourselves happy if we can't make others happy. So that's interesting. So we know ourselves is reflexive for we. Okay, number one, it's much more difficult to judge who than to judge others. Okay, what sounds like it goes? So, all right, so if you chose, looks like if you chose the reflexive pronoun yourself, that looks like it would be appropriate. Yourself, right, then to judge others. Okay, um, or we can say oneself, but we'll see. All right, number two, life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take whose breath away. So, okay, so you're looking at the pronoun we here, so that should give you a clue. So, one that refers to we, that would be our, right? All right. Number three, any person can change the way who understand the world. Okay, so talking here about singular reference. Okay, so what would we choose? They, right? Okay, all right. Number four, you should learn how to love who before you can love others. So this one says you, so we know that it would definitely be what? The reflexive pronoun yourself. Although in number one, it doesn't mention anyone, say anyone in particular. So let's just change this one to one's self or oneself right here. Oneself, just meaning any person in general. Okay, that'd be good. All right, so good job on these exercises. It shows that you've been listening well. All right, well, I can help you learn to speak English with more confidence. I'm TESOL certified. I teach native U.S. English. I'm experienced in online tutoring, and I work with all learning levels and most age groups. So whether you need help with grammar, speaking, vocabulary, or writing, or any other area, you come to the right place. Well, thank you all for watching my video and happy learning.